of you first-timers in the room, welcome to STN. And for everybody that's returning, welcome back. I'm so happy to be here with you today. STN is something that I hold really close to my heart, and so getting to represent it in this way means the world to me. The values you learn here this week are values that you'll carry forever. Yes, this experience will be tough, it'll be fast-paced, and it will exhaust you. But through these contests and workshops, you'll learn the importance of accuracy, deadlines, and teamwork, which are the staples of journalism. This industry wouldn't exist without networking, cooperation, and friendship. And lucky for you, STN helps create all three. We're one big family here. I challenge everybody to branch out this week and try to meet one new person, and I don't think it'll be hard because there's like 3,000 of you. So please do that for me. Some of the first friends that I made in college were the people that I recognized from STN conventions. I wanted to remind you of how extensive this network is because as the future industry leaders, we need to support each other. Journalism is at a turning point. We just finished up a grueling election where the media was continually under fire for how extensively they covered certain stories and how little attention they gave others. For a field of work that thrives on being accurate and balanced, many news organizations predicted the election results flat out wrong. They talked to the wrong people and allowed their opinions to seep into what was supposed to be an objective process. News outlets use polling as a way to gauge how the public is feeling toward each candidate, but after the election, it was found that pollsters oversampled people from large cities and undersampled rural America, which was a group of people that President Trump appealed to. This mistake hurt the credibility of both the pollsters and the news outlets who used them as sources, which led to our president's distrust of the media and in turn the public's distrust of the media. And I don't know about you, but that scares me. You have to have a passion for journalism in order to succeed, and I worry that the negative perception of the media will cause people's passion for journalism to burn out. The hours aren't always great, the pay isn't always great, and you may be assigned to talk to people on the absolute worst day of their lives. You deal with heavy stuff, and the fact that the public and our leaders are struggling to trust us could really affect our jobs. What's important now is how we move forward, the changes that we will implement, because in this room sits the future of the media. We have to take that fear and worry and put it to use. The journalism being done right now isn't sustainable. The United States is slowly losing all of its watchdogs. I believe that our generation of journalists will be the ones who need to regain the trust of the people, but it's not going to be easy. The first change to make is to go back to the basics, the most important principles of journalism. Tell the truth and make sure everyone else is doing the same. It seems simple, but fake news makes this a little more complicated. It used to be that fake news was reports that Morgan Freeman or Taylor Swift were dead, but it's become a little more complex in the recent years. Social media is a key factor in the rise of fake news because you can share information so easily. Raise your hand for me if you remember hearing that Harambe the gorilla got like 11,000 votes in the election. Yeah. That didn't happen, I'm sorry. That was fake news. One way that we can combat this issue is by making sure all of the facts were present when we go to tell stories. Getting verification is more important now than it ever has been in the past because false facts can be so easily spread. You can help with this by not sharing fake news. Investigate the things that you see and find out more about them. If you see a story that looks too outlandish to be true, check up on it. Use the tools that Facebook and Google are unveiling to help stop the sharing of these stories. We have to earn back the trust of our own generation, and it would be very upsetting if fake news stood in the way of that. Another change we can make is practicing pure and objective journalism. We all have opinions. I'm not asking you to get rid of your values. I'm asking you to set them aside so that the work you do is for everyone and not just the people who agree with you. Our job is to tell every side of a story and to inform, not persuade. An aspect of today's journalism that won't be sustainable for much longer is the lack of international coverage. I had the opportunity earlier this year to hear foreign journalists speak about how news is different around the world, especially in their home countries, and they all agreed that America had an extreme excess of pet stories, and an extreme lack of international coverage. Can we agree? Yes. Thank you. I think that reporting on events around the world will be a huge part of the journalism reformation because we can't continue to be ignorant to what's happening outside of our country. The theme of this convention is one world for a reason. We are connected more than ever by cell phones, travel options, the internet, and to pretend that what happens in foreign countries doesn't affect us is short-sighted and unacceptable. We also must listen. A huge misconception about journalism is that we just sit there and deliver the news, but our job is so much bigger than that. Social media is a great tool for finding out what your audience is interested in, and knowing about, and learning. And it helps news become two-sided because people can help you. But the news isn't about the people delivering it. It's about the people living it, and it deserves to be treated as such. If you're pursuing this industry just to be on camera, you might want to reconsider your goals because we are not the story. We tell the stories of people who are doing great things, the people who are affected by terrible things, and everything in between. The future of news is conversation with the audience, and we work for them, not for ourselves. Hopefully you've noticed that some of the world of journalism has been shifting. Some of the changes being made are for the better. More people care about news, and more people have access to the news because of social media. People can't just turn off the TV and ignore current events because Facebook and Twitter make it so easy to share. This generation has the power to make a change. No matter how hard it gets, we can't be silent. Journalists are the voice of this nation, and we are responsible for making sure that we're not only speaking to our audience, but with them. Thank you again for listening to me today and for joining us at this convention. There's a lot of information to soak in and a lot of sleeping to do. I'm kidding about that part. Don't expect a lot of sleep. But take the whole world into account when you work on this convention because we are one world. Thank you.
Jordan, on behalf of the Board of Directors, we are presenting you with a plaque as the Student of the Year in 2015 and a check for $1,000. Let's hear it for Jordan.